Hello and welcome to Abstract AF. I'm Sneha Jaiswal and I'm going to talk about 12 big differences between Mary Shelley's 1818 Gothic classic Frankenstein and Guillermo del Toro's 2025 movie that's based on the same book. It's only a coincidence that I decided to read Mary Shelley's Frankenstein the same year as Guillermo del Toro released his film, which is why the original story is quite fresh in my mind and I could see a lot of differences between the film and the book. So brace yourself for major story spoilers. In fact, the differences might add up to the entire plot, but here are 12 of them. Number 1. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein opens with Victor Frankenstein, the protagonist, lying injured in the Arctic ice as a stranded ship crew rescues him from what looks like a silhouette of a monster. Soon, at least 6 men are killed by a massive deformed man, confirming the savage nature of the being who is in clear pursuit of Victor. In the novel, the creature doesn't kill any of the crew and in fact doesn't even appear in front of any of them until the climactic chapter. Number 2. Just like the book, Victor Frankenstein starts to recall his story to the ship's captain, starting from his childhood days. But in a major difference, in the movie, Victor describes his father as a cold, strict, distant father, rarely available at home. However, in the book, the father is doting and overtly indulgent of Victor. He's a supportive paternal figure who's full of affection, so the father-son relationship is extremely different between the book and the movie. Number 3. This is another very interesting difference. Victor's father is a former government employee in the book, but is a successful doctor in the film. So in Del Toro's world, Senior Frankenstein tutors Victor in biology, expecting him to grow up to be a doctor too. And when Victor's father is unable to save his mother's life during childbirth, Victor becomes convinced that his father didn't try hard enough and decides to conquer death when he grows up. So it's his bitter relationship with his father that drives Victor's ambition to create life in the film, while Mary Shelley doesn't offer such a strong personal agenda in her Frankenstein. Number 4. Victor has 2 younger brothers and an adoptive sister called Elizabeth in the book, but in the film he just has 1 baby brother, William Frankenstein. But now here's the big difference. Victor marries Elizabeth in the book, which was slightly weird since they grew up like siblings, so it was nice to see Guillermo del Toro simply making the 2 of them unrelated. So in the film, Victor doesn't know Elizabeth until she's engaged to his brother William, although Victor does find himself attracted to her. Number 5. Another major shift from the novel, and one that transforms Victor's psychological journey in the film, is the fact that his quest to breathe life into corpses is openly known to people around him. Unlike the book where Victor toils away secretly and is completely alone in his gory quest of sourcing fresh body parts, here, in the film, he has the active support of a few characters, including his own brother William. The film Victor doesn't experience the excruciating mental turmoil of his bookish counterpart, who's alone in knowing he has created a monster. Number 6. The film introduces some completely new characters, the most important being Harlander, a wealthy man who introduces himself as Elizabeth's uncle and offers to fund Victor's endeavor to make a man from scratch. He also helps Victor set up a laboratory of sorts in a tower to carry his experiments. In fact, in a major twist that doesn't exist in the book, Victor accidentally kills Harlander and then outright lies and blames the creator for it. Number 7. Now this might be my favorite change in the film. Victor Frankenstein doesn't abandon the creature in horror as soon as the poor being comes to life. It was something that made little sense in the book. Victor works on the creature for months. Surely he can see what he's putting together. So why is he so shocked and grossed out by its appearance? So much so that he faints and flees from the scene in the book, leaving the clueless creature to fend for himself. But in Del Toro's version, Victor is thrilled to see his creature come to life and he attempts to train the being. The 2 also live together for a few weeks, which builds some sort of bond between the 2, which is beyond just a creator who instantly abandons his creation. Number 8. Another big difference is that Guillermo del Toro's Victor is in his early 30s, clearly a lot older than Shelley's protagonist, who was only 22 or 23 at the time of creating his monster. This also makes the movie Frankenstein far more skilled, meticulous, experienced, and confident. His creature is carefully crafted, and even though he's larger than the average human being, he's largely symmetrical and not as hideously grotesque as described in the novel. Number 9, and this is a slightly interesting one. There's a fleeting bond between the creature and Elizabeth in the film, but there is no such thing in the novel. In Guillermo del Toro's story, the young and devout Elizabeth is deeply moved when she meets the creator for the first time, considering him a miracle, a pure being who's untainted by the human world. She sees him like a child new to the world, someone who deserves kindness and nurturing. Number 10. In the film version, the creature doesn't deliberately murder anyone and only kills in self-defense. But in the book, he strangles Victor's brother William to death as an act of revenge against his cruel creator. This was another plot detail in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein that did not sit well with me, because just before the creature commits the murder, he's shown to be a kind being who has finally learned to read and understand humanity, yet he acts against his newly formed sentient and benevolent nature. To make things worse, the creature goes as far as to frame an innocent young woman for the murder of the boy in the book. But in the film, it's Victor who often frames the creature for all his mistakes. For instance, he ends up shooting Elizabeth accidentally on her wedding day, but accuses the creature of murder when her bleeding body is discovered. Number 11. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein plays out like a cautionary tale against hubris, unchecked ambition, and the dangers of playing God. Through her narrative, she also establishes that a creator must be responsible for their creation or suffer the consequences. But Guillermo del Toro's script changes, especially the altered father-son relationship between Victor and his father, makes his version of Frankenstein equally about dysfunctional parental dynamics and bad parenting. At some point in the film, Victor tells his brother that he never really thought about what he would do with the creature once it came to life, or of any moral or social questions surrounding its existence. He treats the being as a wretched slave, chaining him up and handling him harshly. For the creature, Victor is his entire world. But for Victor, he is merely a botched attempt at playing God, and a reminder of Victor's inability to take responsibility for his own actions. Number 12. One of the best differences between Mary Shelley's Frankenstein and the 2025 film is the climactic events in the tale. In the book, Victor dies of exhaustion and illness on the ship, and the creature comes on board the vessel after he's already dead. But in the film, the creature catches up to Victor while he's still alive and tells him all about what happened to him out in the wild and how he learned to read, to write, and understand the complex nature of human society. Moved and remorseful, Victor offers a heartfelt apology to the creature, finally accepting him as his son and seeking his forgiveness. Guillermo del Toro gives Frankenstein's creature a much-deserved closure that is denied to him in Mary Shelley's book. In the novel, the creature mourns Victor's death and vows to kill himself. But in the film, Victor tells him to live on, despite the hardships and heartbreak that will await him in the cruel, harsh world. It's a fitting emotional end to the tragic Gothic classic. While there are obviously a few more differences between the novel and the 2025 film, I'm going to wrap the list here. You can watch the film on Netflix, and well, that's all from me. Talk to you the next time.